Mom and Dad, you guys are always telling me to buy real estate and buy hard assets. But when I listen to Robert Kiyosaki on his radio show, he's saying that you're crazy if you're buying real estate right now. Why is that?
That is
You're
an
just
incredibly good observation, Ethan. And I do not want to disagree with Robert. So I'm going to try and explain why I disagree with Robert. Fair enough?
Yep.
If you're just looking, I say the same thing as him. All these people say, well, I want to buy an apartment building. They make more money. No, not necessarily. They generate more revenue. But if you can buy a single family home and get a 20% return, and you buy a 20 unit building and get a 2% return, what do you want? I want the much higher rate of return, the higher ROI, don't you?
Yep.
And people say, well, you can't get a deal in this market. I was talking to one specific lady down in Charlotte last weekend, and she said, yeah, but it's a terrible time to buy real estate in this market. I also agree with her. In this market, if you're only talking to realtors, it's a terrible time to buy real estate. I am not saying run out there and buy real estate at all costs. It always goes up in value. Too many people said that, no, 5, 6, and 7. And look at what happened to most of them. Most of them went broke over the next few years. What I'm saying is to buy real estate right now, you've got to focus on your rate of return. You've got to really know what you're doing, and you got to work a lot harder than you did. Back in 2010, people just thought, oh, you can call up a real estate agent and you're getting 15% returns, sometimes 20% returns on these properties. Even the bigger ones, you could easily get over 10 or 12% buying these bigger apartment buildings. Now it is not at all like that. And a lot of these markets, unless you're trying to get into office space, which is crashing right now. I read an article this morning. More of it is being turned back over to the bank. And I'm talking big money is they're losing their properties. When we say real estate, we are only speaking about residential. It might be multifamily, it might be single family, it might be mobile home parks, but it is where people sleep at night. That is what I am buying right now. And we are down to buying single family homes. And yes, it's a lot more work to buy 50 houses than it is to buy one 80 unit building. And with my experience over the last couple of decades, I have realized that if you own 5 single family homes, you make about as much money as you do on one 8-unit apartment building. So you only need to buy 5/8 as many units. That means you have 5 tenants instead of 8 that you have to make happy. There is the other side of that, where if you have a huge apartment building, instead of having 10 individual roofs, you only have one roof to deal with. True. And the roof costs 5 times as much. So you just have to factor all these things in. And after doing all the math and comparing many of our buildings, you get about the same amount of money, provided there's no mortgage. If you just walked in and paid cash, if you have 5 single family homes in a neighborhood and an 8-unit building in the same neighborhood, they're going to generate about the same amount of free cash flow. So then, without getting too technical, because we're already 5 minutes in and I'm talking nothing but numbers, you just got to look at what gives you a better rate of return. And we have already bought 3 houses in the last 3 days. Technically, I bought one. I bought one tax-free because it's in a tax-free account, a Roth IRA. And I helped one of the 26-year-old kids that comes to our Wednesday night meetings buy one. In fact, he brought 2 of the deals to me. And we're buying these things at really good price. I mean, I'm paying $20,000. We're going to put another 10,000 into the building, and it'll be worth 60 or 70, and it'll rent for 750. You can't do that in a lot of states. But if you look throughout the Midwest, there are plenty of places that you just have to go and look hard and find deals. That's why I wrote that paper on our website, 25 ways to buy property. Or what's it called, Devin? All
Devin,
right.
you're
If
muted.
Devin learns how
It's
to turn his microphone on, I see his lips moving and there's no sound.
I'm pretty sure it's 25 ways to buy real estate.
All right. And
It's
number
either
25,
that or how to buy a deal, and it's on our website, realpowerfamily.com.
is that one of our free downloads?
I believe it is.
All right. So you get the free download there and realize you actually have to know what these things are worth when you buy them and how much rent they're going to bring in to figure out your return. So you got to know where you're starting and where you're going, like I always teach you to, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And what is one good way that they could evaluate these properties, even if they were new at real estate, Devin?
They could get a deal evaluator. A bunch of people have a different deal evaluator, and we actually have our own that you made where you can put the numbers for the deal in, and you attached like a mini dictionary of here's a bunch of the real estate terms, and it describes them, tells you what they are, all of that.
So it's a great starter packet. If you want to get in, it'll help you evaluate a commercial residential property. It's not really made for warehouse and stuff like that because we don't buy that. But it is what we have used for many years, actually a couple of decades. And there are multiple different parts, and there's a breakdown. In fact, we should probably record. If anybody picks that up on our website and they would like individual consultation with it, we can definitely do that. I want to record. I've been meaning to do that for the last couple of months since we started selling it. I want to record videos of exactly how every part of that works. And like you said, the last part of it, it's the glossary of terms. So if you don't understand cap rate, ROI, CCR, all of these different abbreviations, they are listed out in there, not just what the words are, but how you come up with them, what they mean, and if they're important and why.